Hello fellow geeks and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather and I'm glad you're here because it is time for another episode of Running A to Z. For those of you who are new here, first of all, go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my running videos coming up soon. And second of all, this is a series that lets you know different vocabulary words that runners need to be familiar with in case you're new to running. So that way when you're reading a running article or talking to someone who's been running for a while, you'll have an idea of what they're talking about. If you've missed all the previous episodes, I'm going to have a link to the playlist with everything that you've missed so far. You can watch those as you want to and get all caught up, but today we're going to move forward with the letter M, marathon. Of course, we're going to have the word marathon under the letter M. A marathon is a race that is 26.2 miles. According to legend, in the year 490 BC, a Greek soldier named Phidippides ran from the battle site of Marathon back to Athens, which was around 25 or so miles, to let them know that they had beaten the Persians. And then, according to legend, after he finished that length, he fell down and died. And so eventually it was added to the Olympics as an Olympic event, and people have been wanting to run marathons ever since. Now obviously there's not a huge percentage of people in the world who have finished a marathon, so if you have, you can consider yourself one of the lucky few. But not every great runner has completed a marathon. There are plenty of amazing runners out there who have never traveled that distance. So don't feel like you have to do a marathon in order to call yourself a runner. Most experts agree that you should have at least a year of running under your belt before you attempt running a marathon. For more information about why a marathon is 26.2 miles, stay tuned to the channel. I have a video coming up soon about that. Master. In the US, a master is usually a runner that is over the age of 40 that is competing. In other countries, they will refer to someone in that age bracket as a veteran. Maximalist shoes. These are shoes that have a lot of supporting and cushion in them. That doesn't mean usually that they're chunky. Sometimes they can be a little bit heavier than your more minimalistic shoes, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Medial. Medial edge of the shoe refers to the inner arch side of the shoe. So if you tend to pronate where your ankles roll inward, you will tend to wear out the medial side of your sole more quickly than the rest of the sole. Metric mile. This is 1,500 meters and it is the closest equivalent to an imperial mile. Midsole. This is the area of the shoe that's between the upper and the outsole, and it's responsible for most of the cushioning of the shoe. Most midsoles are made of foam or EVA or polyurethane. EVA is usually lighter than polyurethane, but it breaks down more quickly. Also, a midsole can have other cushioning elements like air or gel or various plastic units. I have a video coming out soon on the channel where we're going to be talking about the different parts of a running shoe so that you'll know what to look for when you are looking for your first running shoe. Mile. This is 1,609 meters, or 5,280 feet, or 1,760 yards. It's important to note 1,600 meters is not a full mile. You need those extra 9 meters for it to count. Minimalist shoe. These are very lightweight shoes. They tend to not have a lot of structure or support to them. They're usually flexible and they have a lot less cushioning. The minimalist movement has taken over a lot over the past decade or so, in which people are trying to get away from the chunkier and more cushioned running shoe to get closer to a barefoot feeling. People that believe in the minimalist shoe will tell you that this gives you a much more natural gait to your run, and that it's going to give you a much easier natural flow once you get used to them. A lot of runners will tell you that you can make a switch back and forth between a maximalist and a minimalist shoe depending on the type of run that you're doing in order to get your foot accustomed to different types of terrains and runs. Moisture wicking clothing. This is your best friend in hot weather. This is non-cotton clothing that is made to take water, moisture, sweat away from your skin and bring it to the surface of the clothing where it can be evaporated. It helps cut down a lot on chafing and allows you to maintain a cooler core temperature. Motion control. This refers to a shoe's ability to avoid overpronation. If your ankles tend to roll to one side or the other while you're running, then you're going to want to look for a shoe that is going to help with motion control. We'll talk a little bit more about that in my video coming up about running shoes. And MUT, this is an abbreviation that refers to mountain, ultra, and trail running. So there you have it. There's some vocabulary starting with the letter M. If you found this useful, make sure that you let me know by dropping a comment or by giving me a good thumbs up. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the future videos in this series. You should also follow me on social media. All the links will be down in the description box. You can find me across most platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thank you so much for being here today. I really hope that you found this helpful, and I hope you're having a great week. Happy running, guys. Let's do that again. I don't like that. Most mids. What is wrong with me today?